So good morning, everyone. I hope you had an amazing sleep, and I'm looking forward to today's topic. This topic is so important to me, I literally decided to write a book on it. Honestly, my book is called Ordinary to Extraordinary, and like designing the life you really want to live. And that's all about taking your life from a scarcity mindset into an abundant mindset. And so I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks that I put in the book in a very short amount of time this morning. But the idea of going from a scarcity mindset, thinking that there's not a big enough piece of the pie, there's not enough for me, I'm not enough, into the idea of, you know what, shoot for the moon and you're going to get the stars. If you have a desire, you're meant to live it. So moving from what the majority of society is thinking, from that fearful place into that abundant, you know what, if it's possible for me, and I can be the proof for other people. So when it comes to changing your mindset, that's not like a little job. Changing your mindset is changing how you think, how you show up in the world. And the tricky part about it is science shows that we have 90% of the same thoughts over and over and over and over and over again. 90% of our thoughts we have day in and day out. So the reality is, if you have areas in your life that are in a scarcity mode, they're not as abundant as you would like them to be, whether that be your health, whether that be your wealth, whether that be your relationships, whatever it is in your life, if it's not as abundant on the outside as you want to do the work on the inside. And that takes work. So when it comes to your thoughts, if you have the same thoughts, your thoughts become your choices. Your choices become your behaviors. Your behaviors become your experiences. Your experience become your emotions. Your emotions become your biology. Guess what? That's your personality. If you think of all of that, that's your personality. And that becomes your personal reality. So if you really want to change your personal reality into one that has greater abundance in all areas, you've got to change the way you think. And that's not something you just change. It's not like a light switch. You don't change it and then it's done. You have to work on that every single day. So I think the first thing you have to do, this is not fun, guys. It's funny because the book is really, really small. And I have people say, wow, yeah, that's an airplane read. And intentionally, it was an airplane read. And there's all kinds of repetition and there's all kinds of white space because I wanted your brain to be able to take that in. But a lot of people, they get in a few pages and they close it. And I get that. I understand completely, because it is not fun to look at what's not working. It's not fun to own where you have your own limiting beliefs. It's not fun to look and realize, wow, I really do live in a scarcity mode. So we're only going to do that for a little bit today, but I do need to help you realize where in your life, if you want something more, there's got to be some scarcity thoughts that we need to eject and move into abundant thoughts. So I'm going to get you to really just open your mind, not in a judgmental way. As we know, it's not about perfection. We're a work in progress. We want to understand where the scarcity is in our thought patterns so that we can take that out and move in the abundant thoughts. So if I look at the difference between scarcity thinking and abundant thinking, I just want you to know, where do I touch that scarcity thinking? And I'll be aware of that, and I'm going to take that out. So if we go overarching with scarcity, that's where you are pessimistic. You're not looking at the cup as half full, you're looking at the cup as half empty. Okay, so if you are in a scarcity thought, generally there's pessimism, as opposed to abundant thinking is optimism, seeing the best possible outcome, as opposed to, oh, the reality is. No, your reality is what you created. We just need to change those thought patterns, which will change the behaviors, which will change the emotions, which will change your physiology, and then you will create something different. Okay, so if you are one that competes in any area of your life, I'm not saying you're, it's okay to be driven and want to be better, but as opposed to looking at somebody who's doing well, rather than thinking I have to be better, think, wow, that's amazing for them. And they've been the proof for me. The moment you can be 100% happy for somebody else's success, you know you're in the abundant mindset. And I can tell sometimes at the end of the month, and I see things in business going really well for other people. And sometimes I can scroll through and I can be so happy, like incredibly happy, so happy that my eyes well up for other people. And then and I can make the comments and I can mean them wholeheartedly to celebrate their success because they're being the proof. They are the proof of abundance for me. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe you can relate. And the constriction happens in my body. And it's not that I'm not happy for them. What it is I'm in a scarcity thought pattern for me. I'm not enough. I didn't do enough. I'll never be there. So the moment you're there, because you can have an abundant mindset and slip back. So just be aware of that. I'm in a scarcity mindset. So then I know it's not an external thing. I don't look externally for validation if I'm in a scarcity mindset. I need to have the awareness. And for me, I have to shut down social media and I got to work on me. It's all got to be the inside job. I've got to change my thinking. I've got to change up my patterns. So if you are competitive as opposed to excited and happy and have those people be the proof for you, that's when you want to shift your thinking. So be aware that you're in a scarcity mindset at that time. So don't be threatened by it. Be excited by the proof that they're setting for you, the example that they're setting. And I'll also say, if you're in the realm of existence of other people who have achieved the things you want to be, then you're in alignment, right? You're getting to that point of I'm in the same vibration, I'm in the same vicinity because we're a product of those we spend time with. So that's a brilliant thing, but it takes an abundant mindset to be able to get there. So if you're one that hoards your resources, whether it be your time, whether it be your knowledge, whether it be your tools, whether it be your money, in any capacity, you're in a scarcity mindset. An abundant mindset would be sharing your time, sharing your knowledge, collaborating with other people, sharing your resources. And guys, it doesn't have to be a lot of money to be sharing. If you have a little bit of money and you give a little bit of money to other people, it opens up the floodgates. And tomorrow's talk is all going to be about money mindset and really understanding when you have more, you can give more, you can share more, and opening up those floodgates so that you know you're worthy of great financial abundance as well as abundance in all areas of your life. So if you're one that hoards your resources in any way, you want to unlock that. You want to come, there's a big pie. You can give a piece of that pie, share that pie. And guess what? In a scarcity mindset, there's not enough pie. In an abundant mindset, the pie continues to grow. So just be aware of where you are with that. If you're in scarcity, you think small. You set that bar low. You don't want to disappoint yourself. You don't want to disappoint anybody else. If you set it low, then you always exceed your expectations. But in an abundant mindset, like you literally set your sights so high because you know if it's possible, that's what you're striving for. And again, if you shoot for the moon, you're going to land among the stars. So big picture thinkers are abundant thinkers. If you are fearing change, then you're in a scarcity mindset. We know the only constant is change. Change happens all the time. So abundant thinkers, they embrace change because change means evolution, it means expansion, it means growth. If you are conforming to what society is showing you, the herd mentality, the picture on the front of the book is going from, this isn't a sales pitch for the book, it's just I really believe in this, going from the goldfish bowl where the whole school of fish is, all right, and ouch, into independent thought, into something that's bigger, something that's miraculous in your mind. And if you can think it, if you focus your mind there, you change your physiology from all of the thoughts and your beliefs and your emotions and your actions. You can absolutely have that luxurious fishbowl if that's what you wish. So if you are looking for, and the reason I wrote the book is because I was in that school and looked so desperately for that external validation. But the moment I started to look inside and validated myself, I was in that abundant thinking. And that's when doors open. So if you're looking for external validation, that's when you want to realize I'm in a scarcity mindset. But when you look inside for validation, when you really truly decide that you are enough and you are the one, you are the creator of your life and you are the creator of how you feel. You don't have to give that power away to other people. That's when you move from scarcity into abundant thinking. If you think, oh, the world's not fair, things are tough right now, then you're in scarcity thinking. If you're thinking, you know what, things are changing, things are evolving, things are unfolding, and always, everything always works out for me. Things are happening for me, not to me. To me is scarcity. Things are happening for me is an abundant mindset. So if you have your hand full of things that are limiting, all right? If you have your hands full of things that are limiting, like uh, uh, this doesn't serve me, I'm not enough, I'll never be the weight I want to be, there's not enough money out there, I don't have enough. If your hand is full of all of these limiting beliefs, well, then you can't move into an abundant mindset. So I'm going to give you 6 tips to move from the scarcity mindset into the abundant mindset. And tip number 1 is look at your current limiting beliefs. So we just did that. We just went through some of the things that are holding you back, some of those thoughts. So the moment you can look at where you are and have that awareness, then you can move to where you want to be. But this is the thing, we're human creatures, and that groove and that record has been playing over and over and over again. So in order to move away from where you have been over and over, we got to look at some of the pain. So one of the things that I have you do is have you think about what are the consequences? What has this scarcity mindset made of your life so far? What has it held you back? How has it held you back? What has it prevented coming into your life? What are the consequences? If you keep thinking in this way, where are you not going to have the abundance in your life? So number 1, where are my limiting beliefs? Where am I in scarcity thinking? And get really specific. Is it there's not enough money in my bank account? Or is it a thought pattern that I don't know how to put more money in my bank account? There's difference there. Is it that I'm not healthy, that I don't have the body I want? Or is it that I haven't yet created it, or I don't know how? So get really specific about where your limiting beliefs are. And if you keep thinking that way, what are the consequences? So that was number 2. Number 3 is create your tribe. Create your tribe. And you've already done that. Like all of these things we've been talking about the whole time. But when you create a tribe that makes you step on your tippy toes to be around them, that's what you want. You want to be around the most abundant thinkers you possibly can. And guys, I pay for some of that. I put myself around. We did that. Have you met anybody famous? And I had said, you know what? I've met Wayne Dyer. I've spent time with Robin Sharma, Tony Robbins, Rachel Hollis, Nurika. Like I have been around some of the people that make my heart pitter patter, make my breath get shallow. Not because I don't think I'm worthy of being around them, because they stretch me to be better. So that's your influences. You've got to get around people that have really abundant mindsets. Form your tribe. And it doesn't mean you're not around those that don't have an abundant mindset. It just means you limit the power that you give to them. And get yourself around people that see the best in you and make you stretch to become better. All right. Then, when you're around that, it's easier to take on those thought patterns. And the next step, number 4, is be so grateful for the abundance that is already in your life. Guys, you have to be grateful for what you already have. You have to be aware of what you're already doing well, because you can touch that, you can feel that, you know that, and then you can expand that. Right? Be so grateful. And one of the things to get a really abundant mindset is get out in nature. There's so much abundance in nature. It elevates your vibration, which makes it easier to get into an abundant mindset. But if you're out there and you're walking, you're like, wow, there's an abundance of breath. I never have to think about bringing air into my lungs. That happens. There's lots of air around me. There's lots of trees around me. On that tree, there's lots of leaves. Abundance. You want to notice the abundance in all areas of your life. How, like, you don't know how many grains of sand are on the beach. Like, I want you to think about the abundance that you already have, what you're already grateful for, because when you're grateful, you're going to be given more to be grateful for, and you're going to set your mind into the pattern of knowing there is an abundance out there for me to be grateful for. Number 5, affirm it. So wherever you are in a scarcity mindset, you've made yourself aware of that, you know you need a different thought pattern, then you want to go into the I am statements, the present tense statements, the powerful statements of what you're in the midst of creating. You want to put it in the present tense, you want to make it powerful, you want to feel. Remember, we go from our thoughts to into our emotions. Right? We want to take it into that feeling thought where you feel it in your body, like it's already happened. It's got to be an authentic truth. Make sure you can put it into words in a way that really is meaningful for you and you can see it happening. So you've got to affirm it. And then number 6, of course, you've got to step into action. You've got to step into that expectation of it already being there for you. And every single day, you got to go back to the first one. Where are my limiting beliefs? Where did that come from? Dislodge that. All right. And what are the consequences if I stay there? Because you're the creator. You're the creator. You're the one that has to take the action. So then if I stay there, what's going to happen? Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose different today. I'm going to get myself around the most positive mindset I possibly can. And I'm going to touch that. I'm going to feel that. And then I'm going to integrate that into my life. I'm going to be so grateful for what I already have. I'm going to be aware of the abundance that's already in my life, aware of the abundance that's around me, the proof that's been there, and affirm it. And then I'm going to take action every single day. And guess what happens? You create an extraordinary life you love. So I hope that gave you awareness of the difference between where in your life, because we all have it, you've got scarcity thinking, and how to be able to take ownership, take responsibility, and move it into abundant thinking. Because, guys, you can create whatever it is you want. And I have to tell you, I am so grateful that each and every one of you helped me stand on my tippy toes to reach and to be better every single day. All right, enjoy.